Continuing. So how do I know that was you, that was me, that was blown up there in Afghanistan trying to get a few pennies worth of gasoline to survive, to pay our cost of survival, cost to live, our unavoidable tax, right, on our very life? Because these are God's children, equally loved. And this is the way God wants you to see it. This is the way God wants me to see it. That this was us. This was him dying in this world. This world is forsaken. I mean, this is anybody that is worldly and revels in this world as it is today, I'm telling you, you're on the highway to hell. Okay, what I'm trying to say is come into the light. Come out of the darkness. Come out of Babylon. Come out of confusion. Come out of ignorance. And let us all get real, get honest, okay? Because it doesn't take a lot of intellect. It doesn't take a lot of intelligence. I'm just talking about honesty, being somebody, being real, being true to yourself, being somebody you can love and respect, look in the mirror, okay? Being somebody that God someday is going to say, I approve. Here's your reward for being upright, doing the right thing, from being my friend. You were a friend to humanity. You spoke the truth to power, okay? You spoke the truth to the captives, and you told them the good news that they will be set free and that they should keep their chin up and have faith in God. Okay, he's going to be faithful, but will he find faith on the earth? That's the question he asks. And that's what I want to make sure that I'm helping to do, and warning people the great wrath. You know, get your metaphorical pants on right now. Okay, pull your metaphorical pants up, because a lot of people are going to be caught with their metaphorical pants down. They're going to be loving their lives in this world. It's worked real well for them, and that's the snare. Even King Solomon, thousands of years ago, spoke about this, how money can be a snare to the soul. This would be consistent with the teachings of Victor Hugo. Adversity makes men, prosperity makes monsters. Money, you don't seek prosperity as defined with money, making a lot of money, and success is making a lot of money, right? No, not in the sight of God. It's the contrary. It's the opposite. It's the antithesis of that. So if you don't fit into the system, just consider yourself very lucky. Think of some of the most brilliant people, the saint-like people that have died paupers. Why? Because they're sickened by what they see. They're repulsed by what they see in this world. And we all have to reach that point. I say this, we don't have to put up with this crap. We don't have to tolerate this crap. We insist that everyone in the whole world, I mean, we want to spend tax dollars, let's spend it fixing problems. Let's get our own act together and then get out there, not with the war machine, but get out there helping people dig wells, provide potable drinking water for people, okay? Provide housing for people. Once we house our own people, let's provide these things. Making sure that everybody has plenty of food in the world. Okay, that's what I want to see happen. That, to me, is evidence that Jesus Christ is taking over. When we see an end to unnecessary human suffering, all forms of poverty all over the world, this is what needs to be attacked. We have to see our welfare entwined, interconnected, hopelessly interconnected, inextricably interconnected with the least of men. And if you don't like that, that's tough. Tough noogies, because that's the way it is. And who says the way it is? Me? You? No. He says the way it is. Our owner, the one that created us, that gave us life. Not us. It's not our lives. Not really. Well, it might be our decision, our free will, our free choice, sure. But would you want to do anything outside of what he wants? Okay? And does that have to do with losing our individuality? No, not in any way. You can't lose your individuality. That's ridiculous. But I understand this is one of the psychological reasons so many people get these tattoos, is because they like to feel that individual, that, you know, they've decorated their body in a way nobody. And you can understand, hey, you know what? I mean, if you got issues there, because I guess some people do, but I've always felt very individual, so I guess I don't really have a need for tattoos. But we are all very individual. There's just, I mean, if every snowflake is individual, we all are. So by doing God's will in life doesn't mean you turn into an automaton, anything but, quite the contrary. All he wants is you to be his friend. Be whoever you want to be. We have a lot of leeway, a lot of slack. He gave us an imagination. He wants us to thrive, to be happy and joyful and free. He wants us to have all good things to be realized in our lives. And what are we leaving the next generation? We've got to care about those things, so people aren't spitting on our graves or wanting to. Okay? We've got to give a damn. We've got to love. We've got to live by the golden rule, treating others the way we want to be treated. And that's not selectively treating others. You can't just pick who. You've got to care about others. Everybody needs to be treated the same way that you wish to be treated. Okay? That goes for everything we do, everything we say, everything we think in our lives. That's being true to yourself. That will be honoring God, by honoring humanity, by honoring yourself. The putrid, vomitable MF fake stream media is unabashedly, unequivocally labeling all those they deem alt-right, quote, alt-right, their new term, to be fascist, racist, Nazi, white supremacists. Yeah, they want to paint us with a broad brush, right? It makes it easier. Just lump them all together, right? Even though they won't talk about false flags, frame-ups, besmirching of character, and that plan, that deceptive plan that so many people have to just place the blame on somebody else when really, they deserve it. So this is how they operate. I mean, it's just... the good news is that they're being exposed. And so maybe there's hope that we can get away from these people. But you notice who they highlight. They want to highlight the worst of the people, the alt-right. They always want to, and those are the most suspect people. Those are the ones that really could be lost in space, and they just want to go out and say, well, yeah, I'm this or that, and then that's just for the object, for the purpose of besmirching the character of somebody they hate. I mean, what is that, hard for people to wrap their minds around, this double-crossing kind of thing? Okay, but the mainstream media acts like, oh, what? No, nobody's that devious. Nobody's that diabolical. Nobody's that cunning. Nobody's that crafty. You're just paranoid. You're just cynical and all this. But no, they're liars. They have a bent. They have an agenda. They are very biased toward the establishment. They're the ones that want to keep this train chugging down this track of crony capitalism. It's just a wreck. Okay, that's all we have left in our economy. It's just wreckage. That's all that's left. But they still want to just wreck it a little more. As long as they're making money, as long as their numbers look good, they're part of what they think is the status quo establishment. They just don't care about other people. There's so many people that they would love to just keep their position in place. They don't care how many people got to die. That's how evil the world is. I'm not making stuff up. I'm not paranoid. I'm not being unduly cynical. I might be cynical, yes, because I know the score. I know the heart of man. I am a man. I know how evil people can be. We have a propensity. If people don't make a deliberate attempt not to be evil, dudes, gals, you're evil. Okay, it's that simple. It's that simple. You got to say, yeah, I get it. I get that money is the root of all evil. You could say, yes, the way Jesus said, the love of money. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, still money plays a key component of that sentence. Okay, it doesn't say love is the root of all evil, right? That would sound stupid. But you could say money is the root of all evil, and that doesn't sound... Yeah, they're right. Because these people love money. Those that love it the most are willing to kill for it. That's the world you live in. Who's controlling the world? Who's been controlling it for thousands of years? Those that love the money the most. So yes, it's the root of all the evil. And all this escapist behavior we engage in, all these people, we got this epidemic of heroin and the other associated drugs, the fentanyl and stuff like that, killing people right and left, young people, millennials, snowflakes, libtards. Okay, George Soros is funding these groups. And yeah, they might be getting welfare, some of them, but not anybody can get welfare. I mean, you got to jump through hoops. And there's all these people that take precedence. The refugees they're going to leapfrog, and the immigrants, because they write down on their Section 8 form that, oh yeah, I'm a farm worker, because they did it at one point in their life, so that's their resume. They just use that. I mean, nobody's checking on anybody. So they leapfrog against the native citizens. And I object. Yes, this is evil, man. The whole system is just rife, inundated, flooded with evil. Okay? That's the reality. And we've got to get real, get honest, not intellectual. This is not intellectual argument. It's an honesty discussion. We have to have an honest, guttural discussion about these things and not shrink away from the controversy, but embrace each other's philosophies and say, I understand why you hate capitalism, okay? Because crony capitalism has utterly besmirched the name of true capitalism. Help people understand. Please, let's help each other. And the communists got to say, yes, I understand why you love capitalism. Did you know about crony capitalism? Do you know how bad that is? Yeah, I would be okay if I'm a communist embracing true capitalism as long as it shares the wealth without, but this idea of forcing people, again, for the communists, that doesn't work. But we've got to convince anybody that's a true good American, it believes in equality in the American way, egalitarian principles and precepts. You can only embrace true capitalism. You can't say, well, somehow it's all conflated and fuzzy and nebulous, so ambiguous. I don't have to, it's all capital. I'm just going to call it capitalism now. But no, the system's been based on crony capitalism for God knows how long. Since the assassination of JFK, they started slowly, incrementally, like the frog in the water. Okay, they have to do this thing slowly, that moving of the Overton window. They can't do it all at once because people say, oh, no way are you getting away with this crap. See, if we could go back 50, 60 years and we could see how America was then and superimpose that upon how it is today, we'd go, oh my God, what has become of us? That's what we need to do. We need to be traumatized. We need to be shocked. We need to take the bull by the horns and just screech this train to a stop and get it on a new track, a new trajectory toward freedom for all through true capitalism. But communism doesn't work. That doesn't work. Socialism, Robin Hood thing, taken from the house, everybody knows. I mean, they just hire an attorney to avoid taxes, to avoid paying taxes. It's as simple as that. That's the reality. That's the world you live in. So how is communism going to work in America? It never will. Socialism never will. It can't, not as long as attorneys are there to represent the rich and to find them loopholes, to avoid their taxes. So I'm just trying to get people to be honest with themselves and then go and have honest, reasonable discussions with others where you define the terms you're talking about. Okay, define the terms, define government, define politics, define capitalism, define freedom. And just be honest. Be honest and say, I'm hell bent on having an effective discussion with this person, and I wholeheartedly disagree, but I'm not going to condemn them. I'm going to try to convince them where they're wrong. And that's what people need to do with each other. Okay, and we might surprise ourselves. Maybe sometimes we get corrected. Somebody has something very profound to enlighten us about, and we have our own epiphany because we're learning, we're growing. And that's the way it works, because I've been wrong about, anybody can be wrong. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how honest you are. If you believe somebody that lies to you, that's a deceiver, and you believe it, you've been deceived. So it can happen to anybody. It's serious business. And only God can judge people to that degree. And someday that's coming where people will be condemned, okay, for being deceivers intentionally because they love money. They love the things of this world. They love their lives in this world and the things that came along with it more than they love God, more than they loved humanity. And they're sowing to the wind. They're going to reap the whirlwind. All of them they're going to have to be separated because it'd be wrong for God to just let us all live together and be bullied by these people forever. That's what they are. They're bullies, pushing people around. They use intimidation, fear, and primarily it's all through the money. They've got to control the purse strings. And if they control that, they've got all the pseudo-reverence they want. That's it. Just keep them in fear. I don't care if it kills them. I don't care if that fear drives them to suicide. Just keep it in check. I need that power. I need that. I don't care how many people got to die. So I keep my position in place of power in this world. I'm reveling in it. I love it. They don't even know. A lot of them are going to hell. They don't even know that they're going to hell. But it's our job to warn them. Like watchmen on the tower. So their blood's not in your hand. We've got to do it. This is what all those that call themselves friends of God, Christians, whatever, that's what you've got to do. We have an obligation, responsibility to our fellow man to help leave this world a little better for our brief visit than we found it. And if we fail in doing that, we're a failure. So you can make as much money as you want and call it success, but no, not in the eyes of God you won't be. No, you've got to know the real treasures, and the real treasure is you. It's me. It's us human beings. It's the souls of men. We are priceless commodities, treasures to him. He wants our affections, our love on our own basis of our own free will and accord, because we want to, because we love a good, holy God, all powerful. We want to be on his side. When it all hits the fan, and it will, in very short order, this is what's so foreboding. This is what's bringing this consternation to all of us, this collective consternation. It's coming. We know it. We know it's going to hit the fan. It's already proving that it's starting to. But the train's still chugging down the highway as long as they keep debasing our currency. There's hopes. There's rumors. Like when I said about food prices going down.